everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy August 1st. This is the Sewing Buzz. For those who are new to the channel, first of all, I always have to take notes because I need to stay on track. But the Sewing Buzz is a once a month video that I do to catch you up or share some things that have intrigued or interested me throughout the month. Obviously, these things are from July, most of which are from July, and so I just wanted to share those with you today. And these go up every first of the month. Now, for those who are new to the channel, new to the Sewing Buzz, I typically share new pattern releases. If there's something in the way of challenges or sewing challenges, I should say, out there on Instagram or something like that, I may share those, new fabric releases, all different type of stuff. So that's what these videos are about. So I thank you so much for tuning in. I typically upload on every Sunday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the next upload. And on top of that, as part of the Sewing Buzz, at the end of the video, I will leave chapters here on the screen so you can just skip around as you so choose. But at the end is always my SND sewing chat, and this month is another good one. I actually will be talking about this top a little bit in the SND sewing chat, and then you must tune in for Wednesday because it will be the full review of the pattern that we collaborated on and my final look. This is actually my wearable muslin, but yeah, you'll see the SND sewing chat, and then coming up on Wednesday you will see the final reveal. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now this month I decided to share a couple patterns that I picked up in July. I usually don't share hauls. I usually have a separate haul video, but I'm not, who knows when I'll have another haul video. So I just thought I would, there's only 3 patterns. They were McCall's. They were on sale for $1.99. None of these are new, but I saw them and I definitely like them. The first one is McCall's, and I'll just pop up the picture, 7889. Obviously you all know I am into, if you've been following along, you know I love particular necklines, and I really liked view D on this. It's not totally sleeveless, more of a small cap sleeve. I really like it. It is very, very pretty and have that pleating detail around the waist. So yeah, I went ahead and picked that up. I also picked up McCall's 7356, and again the neckline, absolutely love. I love version D and version C in particular, but I also do like version B, and I figure this top and the next top I'll share it will really go with the skirts I want to make more of, which was the Toya skirt, which was in my previous video. I'll link up to it up above, but I think tops like this will go really well with that, as well as tops like 7962. And in particular for me it would be view C, what the model is wearing, but of course we will be lengthening that bodice because we are not doing crop like that. I at least will want that ruffle to hit right at my waistline, and then have the skirt. But although the shorts, the more I looked at the pattern, the shorts and the culottes are very cute as well. So yeah, those are the couple patterns that I picked up in July during this was Hobby Lobby had it sale, $1.99 patterns. So first thing I want to do, the second thing I should say, is shout out to Melanated Fabrics. If you all have been under a rock, they have had their brick and mortar is fully open. They had a grand opening on July 24th. You must go back. I'm sure it's on their highlights, but I was looking at their I caught a few of their stories where they were just showing the grand opening and behind the scenes, customers and everybody visiting, and then people were posting pictures. Just awesome. I'm excited for them, and of course whenever I get around to the Atlanta area, and surrounding area ladies are definitely lucky, so I would definitely go visit. It looks like a beautiful setup, and they have put in a lot of hard work, so congratulations to the Melanated Fabrics team. So now we're going to get into some new pattern releases. So there aren't many, so I am going to go relatively fast through these. So over it actually released 2 patterns. And if you aren't, I'm sure many of you are, but as you all know, Sew Over It does a lot of sew alongs on their channel as of late over the past year. And so they do have one for the Jody shirt, which is, let me make sure I'm in frame here, which is one of the new pattern releases, which is a versatile top. Definitely can see this being worn in the summer or in the fall. It could be a cover up or something that you pair with your more fall items. And so I thought this was really nice. Now, you know, Sew Over It Patterns has increased their size range, so definitely more size inclusive, and I believe they have different cup sizes, I want to say, as well. So definitely check that out. I thought that was nice. And then they also released the Emma dress, which has a very, what I liked about it, again, for those who don't know, I don't talk about every single pattern that was released in the month of July. I just talk about the ones that have caught my eye. And so the ones I'm talking to you about today has caught my eye. But the Esma dress by Sew Over It, I liked it because of the subtle scoop neck around the neckline. I thought that was really nice, and you could really, depending on the fabric you use, obviously I don't think you would want to use any stiff, it's a jersey pattern, but you don't want to use anything too structured of a knit for that. Something definitely more drapey for that, because that scoop neck will be so pretty. The next is the Emporia Patterns Paloma dress and skirt. It's a dress and skirt. I thought this was very pretty. For me, I don't like and I do not wear strapless bras, so this wouldn't necessarily work for me, but I thought it was just so pretty. I thought the neckline of it was very pretty. I liked the different versions that the models and those who posted had on. Definitely a great, beautiful summer pattern, beautiful. And then this one was just took me out. I liked it, and I have liked every single version of this. It's the Just Patterns Helena wrap dress. Now this one in particular, I love the grown on sleeves, the entire look. And like I said, all the versions that I saw over on Instagram, some people did different hacks to the sleeves and stuff like that. It just made me fall in love with it. I thought this was such a beautiful pattern, and it says it has a nice relaxed fit through the bust and the hip, which who doesn't love that? But yeah, and so then, you know, stuff like that, you don't have to fiddle around too much with fit and things of that nature. But I thought this wrap dress was adorable and definitely pretty. Now this is one I definitely think can transition from summer to fall quite easily, even winter as well. And then Seam Work Patterns did release a couple patterns, but one of the patterns I thought that was very pretty, maybe because I'm in that summer state of mind, is this what is it called, the Sierra. I thought this was a beautiful summer dress. It has an empire waistline with some gathering in the back. The straps do look a little thin. Now it looks like you probably could play with that strap width to make sure that you get a nice coverage over your bra, but I thought that this pattern was very pretty. Still doable right now in this type of weather. Rebecca Page Patterns released their ruffle tunic dress, and remember, Rebecca Page pattern goes up to a 5XL, and this can be worn as a top, dress, or a tunic, and it has different sleeve options. So you have the flutter sleeve, the frill sleeve, and what they call the angel sleeve. And the bonus with Rebecca Page is her patterns also, for the most part, always includes children's sizes, so you do have that option with this. But I thought the ruffle sleeve tunic dress was very pretty. Another one that did actually catch my eye was the Tilly and the Buttons Sky Sundress. And it's mainly because you probably already know. It is because of the tie straps. Ever since I have done that with that Naomi dress by Styles on Me Patterns, and I'm loving that look. I just like the way it looked. And then I hacked the Portia top by Style Art to have the tie straps, and I just love it. And so when I saw that, I was like, yep, very pretty. And remember, Tilly and the Buttons also increased their size range up to a US size 30. Then we have Stylark, speaking of, the Bridget wrap dress, again up to a size 30. And this here, it just has that sex appeal to me. Very floaty, has a lot of gathered details, and usually it's been maybe over the past several months I've been loving some of the gathered details I've been seeing in patterns, and this one also has beautiful detail as well. And I was thinking, you know, that would be nice for, say you're going to a wedding, say you're have a special event coming up or something like that. Depending on the fabric you use, this can really be a showstopper. And then we also have the Love Notions. They re-released the Sybil skirt pattern. Now, I already own the Sybil skirt pattern, but they did re-release it in larger sizes, which is really nice. And so and when they re-release the sizes, if you already purchased the pattern, you get the new sizing, which is nice. You don't have to pay for that. And so, yeah, so I already own the Sybil, and so when that was re-released, yep, checked my account, and the upgraded size was there. But like I also, one of the other patterns I purchased I didn't show is the Love Notions Tempo dress. When I saw that, I was like, yep. And the sharing. The back is shirred. You don't have to do shirring for the back, but I understand you can also do, in looking at the pattern, you can do elastic as well. But she also has a video. In most of her patterns, Love Notions patterns, there's links to videos that she show quick steps, and so she does have steps on how to do the shirring. So yeah, and of course you all know I am going to hack these straps and to be tie straps as well, because now I'm just addicted. Now I've been doing it since the Naomi and the Stylark Portia. Yes, that one will have tie straps when I get to that one. Then Patterns for Pirates. They released the paper bag pants and skirt, and what I thought was also nice about this, they also released for children's sizes as well. But the thing that drew me in for this was the skirt and the shorts. I thought the style lines on them were really nice, and they have a very size inclusive size range as well, if you didn't know that already. And of course, for all of these, I will leave links to all of the websites, patterns, and all that down in the description box below, so make sure you click down there and then you can see everything. The next one is Helen's Closet Sandpiper swimsuit, and this actually looks really easy. Now, you all know, y'all, I had plans for swimsuits, and I'm still gonna make them. They're still sitting in my okay, it's time to sew pile. I am going to get there, but their sizing for this swimsuit goes up to a 34, which is a 62-inch hip, which is really nice. And so if you I would say this here, because Helen's Closet, I do know from sewing up her patterns before, her instructions are really, really good. So if you want to try a swimsuit or something like this, you most certainly can. And I know her instructions will be phenomenal to follow along with, at least, and also based on reviews I've seen as well. But yes, check out that swimsuit. It's not too late. It is not too late. Then you have the Green Style Creations Rally Skirt. Now, I really like this. Now, not necessarily for the biker shorts, because what I do like about the pattern, it is versatile. So you had those biker shorts, and then the variations on the skirt lengths, and then you had the separate bottoms as well. But if you're kind of if you're into golf, if you're into tennis, that's what I think of when I see these initially. But you can also play around with this, because you can use, from what I remember from reading on the website, you can use activewear, athletic knit type fabric. So that skirt, if you have a pattern that is a swimsuit pattern, say we just talked about the Helen's Closet, and you want to add a skirt onto it, you probably could use this pattern to do that with. Because the drafting of the pattern is already there for that type of fabric. So yes, I thought that was that was a really cute set. And then so far as garment patterns, last but not least is closet core patterns. They have sent out, if you guys did not hear, they have sent out an email. You should get on all these companies emails list, by the way, but they have now expanded their size range, which goes up to a bust size of 69 inches. How about that? That is so awesome. So they did say going forward, all of their new patterns will be in the new size range. And they also said for the ones that just released now are the, I'll pop it up on the screen. It's the Pietra pants and shorts, the Fior skirt, the Cielo top and dress, the Sienna maker jacket, the LED. I already had the LED in the larger size, but the Blanca flight suit, the Kaylee shirt dress, Charlie caftan, Mile end sweatshirt, and the plateau jogger and shorts. Some of these were already in that size range, but then they re-released a few extras here. What I'm waiting for them to re-release in the larger size are the Morgan jeans, because those look more like a boyfriend fit, and maybe the ginger, the low rise. Is it called low rise? No, it's called mid-rise ginger. We shall see. But those are a couple that I'm really waiting for them to re-release. And so yeah, we shall see. A couple other patterns that were released, one other pattern, and then something for knitting. Another pattern that was released by Rebecca Page Pattern, which I thought was so nice. I really like this. This is called the Picnic Backpack Blanket. So as you can tell by the picture, you have the picnic basket, which you can put all your goodies in, put all your snacks and everything in, and then it has a room where you can put all your settings in there, your dishes, so your place settings and everything. But then you have the option to make a roll-up blanket, 4 different size options for that blanket. But you know what I thought? I thought not only obviously to have for yourself, but what a nice gift that would be. That would be an absolutely amazing gift. And you know, getting out the house these days, well, it's kind of hot here in Texas. I don't know about sitting in the park right this moment, but you know, as it gets cooler out and not 100+ blazing degrees, I thought this was really nice. And say that you do go to outdoor music festivals, if you're into that. I know we've done that a few times, but you go to an outdoor music festival, wouldn't it be nice just to have something like that to take, and you can just unroll, everything is there, have your blanket, it just cute. I absolutely love that, absolutely love it. And then for knitters, okay, so I've gotten an email, and this might ask me on one of my comments in the video, how is my knitting project coming along? It's not at the moment. It will be picked back up in the fall. Obviously we know how summer goes. Unless you're an avid knitter, it doesn't matter what time of the year is, you're always knitting. But for me, my mood changes from, you know, that fall winter mood to spring summer. So right now it is on pause, but I will be picking it back up in the fall. But I received the yarn that I purchased came from Neighborhood Fiber Co, and they had sent out an email about their new, it's called Capital Luxury Sport yarn, and it's saying it's more environmentally friendly. And the picture, and I'll pop up a picture here, I saw those colors, I was like, oh, that is so dreamy. And it just reminded me, okay, don't just let your knitting project just, you know, languish off to the side. I put it, you know, it's in my bucket. I think I shared that, and I put it in a place where I see it all the time, so it's not, I won't forget about it. So I didn't put it away, otherwise who knows when I would pick it up again. But yeah, that was it. Kind of quick this month, but I wanted to go ahead and share those with you. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Also stay tuned, because I have an exciting announcement coming up later in the month of August. You probably will see about it or hear about it. I probably post it on my community tab here on YouTube, and I'll more than likely post it over on Instagram and Facebook as well. So NaturalDane page. So if you're not didn't like So NaturalDane Facebook page, do that. But there will be a special announcement coming up soon. I'm very excited about this month, in the month of August, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Please thumbs up the video and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this month's Sewing Buzz, and stay tuned. Coming up next is our lovely SND sewing chat with the beautiful and lovely Meg from Cooking and Crafting over on Instagram. So thank you everybody so much for tuning in, and enjoy the SND sewing chat. Bye. All right, everybody, welcome back to SND Sewing Chat. This month on August 1st, we have the lovely Meg from Cooking and Crafting. Many of you might already know her over on Instagram, but we will talk about shortly where you can find her. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. We are going to have a fun conversation today, and very excited to share with you what we collaborated on also for this. So welcome, Meg. Thank you so much for joining today, and thank you for agreeing to do the interview. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to chat about sewing with you today.
So for those who don't know where to find you, those who are new to my channel, many people will already probably follow you, but please tell everybody where they can find you. And of course, everybody, definitely check the description box, because I will have a link to her Instagram and her blog down below. So where can everybody find you?
Sure. I am on Instagram posting about sewing primarily, and occasionally other crafts, at CookinandCraftin. And I also have a blog where I've been posting for 10 years, maybe a little bit more. It's been a long time, at cookingandcraftin.blogspot.com. So yeah, I've been talking about sewing on there for so long, mostly just sharing my process and, fitting tips and fabric choice and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. And so please tell us, how did you come up with the handle Cooking and Crafting?
Oh, when I started my blog originally, I wasn't even sewing at that point. I had just finished law school, and I was just trying to find a way to connect with my family. So it was kind of a family blog, because we all lived in different places, and we all like cooking, and we all like doing assorted crafting things. Like, everyone has their own thing. And originally some of my family members would post what they were working on too, but then at some point it kind of just ended up being me. And then I got into sewing, and then it was all over. It was just sewing all the time. So it doesn't really make any sense anymore, but that's what it was.
Right. Oh, that is awesome. Did not know that. And so, yes, your blog has been around for quite some time. So for those who, again, I'm pretty sure you have many, many followers at this point, but for those who don't know about her blog, again, I will definitely leave it down in the description box down below. So we are going to jump into our little chat today. Full disclosure, everybody, Meg is a complete angel. When I tell you she is a complete angel, she really is, because this is actually our second time recording this today, because your friend over here forgot to hit record. And so so we are going through and highlighting, and hopefully we will be able to touch on those things that we already talked about technically, but with the magic of editing. So Meg, once again, if you can just tell us a little bit about your sewing history, when you started sewing, how long it's been that you've been sewing.
Yeah, so I learned how to sew from my mom when I was a kid. She has always been a great sewist. She sewed clothes, I think, since she was a child, as well as, doing other crafting like knitting and macrame and things. So she taught me how to sew, but I didn't really have the attention span to kind of really get into it beyond just a couple little mini projects here and there. I don't know. I wasn't into following directions on patterns or any of that kind of stuff. So, but I knew how to thread the machine and make it work and everything. And then about 10 years ago, when I moved abroad with my husband to Indonesia, I didn't have a job at the time, so I had extra time on my hands, and there were all these beautiful fabrics there. So Indonesian batiks are renowned worldwide, and they have ikats, the hand woven fabrics, and they were just really inspiring. So it was kind of about the same time that PDF patterns came out. So, when I was living abroad, I was able to kind of download and print those out pretty easily. So between those two things, I just started sewing and got really hooked. And, you know, it's been 10 years later, I'm kind of sewing every day now. So that's my origin story.
So your first is interesting. So you're different in many ways, where your sewing started with PDF patterns as opposed to commercial patterns.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always remember going to Joann's when my mom as a kid and going through the pattern books, and she always sewed from commercial patterns and still does for the most part. But I don't know, there was something about the formatting of them. And I found like the PDF patterns and the way they did the instructions to be a little more user-friendly. So, and also when I was living abroad, I couldn't really get mail. So I couldn't like order patterns online or anything to have shipped to me. So the PDF downloading and printing was much more convenient. So I think it was like a little bit of both. Like I liked the user friendliness of the PDFs, but also that's what I could, that's what I could get.
That's what you get your hands on. Right.
Yeah.
So you became a master at putting PDF patterns together. Do you still print and tape together now, or are you now sending them out to print at a print shop?
I usually send them out to I use PDF plotting, and I'll usually send them out, but you kind of have to have a bunch built, you have to be strategic about it, and you have to have 4 or 5 to send out in order to sort of make the minimum. And sometimes I'm not that patient. So sometimes if I get one and I really get an urge to sew it right away, I'll download it and I'll still, print it out in the letter size and tape it together. It's not my favorite, but I do it if I really want to make something right away.
Right. Exactly. So are there, as we had talked about earlier, it was about different things that you might enjoy sewing the most and different things like that. But before that, what we did mention before that, again, I would like you to touch base on because they just sound beautiful. You are in a challenge where you're sewing through your stash, and some of that stash includes some fabrics from abroad. And so can you tell us a little bit about some of those fabrics that you have and the challenge that you're in right now, that you're sewing through it?
Yeah, I have, after living abroad for 6 years in places that, have a lot of really beautiful handmade fabrics in Jakarta, Indonesia, and Bangkok, Thailand, I have amassed quite a significant fabric stash. But a lot of it, because they're so beautiful and each one is kind of unique, I feel a little bit wary about cutting into them. And I'm, as a result, it's getting a little bit out of control. So I'm participating this month in Jacinta from Pink Mimosa is doing the Whole 30 Fabric Challenge, which is a challenge to sew through 30 yards of fabric from your stash without buying any new fabric during that time period. And if you buy fabric, you have to start over from zero on the challenge.
Oh, so, okay.
It's pretty hardcore, but I'm already at 23 yards. I started a little early because I was already sewing from my stash a little bit. So I started kind of recording a little bit early, but it's really inspiring me to get towards cutting out some of those special fabrics that I bought when I lived abroad and be creative about how I use them and how they work with the patterns in my stash and things like that. So I think it's really kind of sparking some creativity on my part. So I'm happy that she's running this challenge.
Yes, I have seen that floating around on Instagram, and I'm not participating in it, but I'm thinking that is a lot of fabric. But then it really depends on what it is that you're making. And we'll talk about this in a moment, but because you are kind of in your wrap dress extravaganza, going through different wrap dresses, that won't necessarily be hard to meet that goal, just because obviously with wrap dresses and even wrap tops, I mean, it takes up a lot of fabric. And so, but yeah, that is exciting. So yeah, I've been following a lot of people who are doing that challenge. So that will be interesting to see how everybody kind of does, because it's hard when you see these fabric companies posting, oh, this has come out, and especially if it's a really good print, by the time the challenge is over, it's going to be gone. So, but you have to kind of bite the bullet and say, nope, not going to do it.
I know.
Focus.
We'll see if I can make it that last 7 yards, but that, 7 yards, that could just be 1-2 garments. So I think I can make it. But then who knows what I'm going to do after, right? Like buy. Hopefully
Right,
not.
right. So do you make a majority of your clothes, or are there some things that you still purchase from ready to wear?
I make the majority of my clothes, like most of my clothes that I wear. I've kind of dabbled in sewing like underwear and bras and things like that, but I don't know. For me, those are a little bit easier to just buy. No one sees it. I like making the stuff that you can wear out and people see it and you feel good about it. And also sometimes some of the clothes I use for like hiking and other outdoor things, I might buy if I can find it in my size. But for the most part, I'd say like 95% of my clothes maybe are handmade. So yeah.
Oh yeah, same here. And when you are kind of committed to making your own things, because obviously you can make them size, you can tweak it, put your own spin to it. That is a lot of sewing. Yes, I definitely understand. So is there anything about the sewing process that's, not your favorite thing to do, that you don't really enjoy too much?
I think if I had to choose two things that would probably be at the bottom of my list of things to do, with sewing, is tracing patterns. I do it because I have to. And I know there's a big kind of debate in the sewing world, like, are you a tracer, are you a cutter? I trace them because my weight kind of fluctuates a lot. And so I like to be able to trace the pattern and still have it, available to use in another size if I need it. Or like if my mom or sister, likes what I made and they ask me for a version so I can trace it in their size too. But gosh, it is tedious. The tracing process. I don't really enjoy it, but I do it because it's kind of the prudent thing to do.
Right, exactly. And I agree. Mostly for me, it's the indies that I would tend to trace just because they're more expensive. And then when you do send them out to print, while sending them to print is really, in my opinion, not expensive because it's usually $1 or $2 a page. But still add that onto the, the cost of the pattern, it can add up.
Yep.
So yeah, the tracing is very, very tedious. Commercial, I trace certain pieces, square pieces. I tend not to trace just because it's a square. If I mess up or something like that, I can just, redo that with no problem. Pocket pieces, interface with some craft paper, and that thing is good to go for your commercial pattern. So, but yeah, tracing is very tedious. But like you say, when you are going through weight fluctuations or the fact that you just don't want to have to repurchase a pattern, why go through that? And even for commercial, I know, like you said, there is this thing about, tracing and cutting, but even for some commercial, after a while, because we collect patterns as sewists, we buy all the patterns. After a while, some of those patterns become out of print. And if you have cut into it and did stuff to it or whatever, you won't be able to get it again unless you buy it through, say, eBay, Amazon, or Etsy. And then sometimes, if you want it bad enough, sometimes those are, when you buy them through those platforms, can be just as expensive as buying an indie pattern. So you just gotta figure out what works best for you and what you want to do. And so before we get into our collaboration today, I know you have several fun things coming up with the magic of editing. Everybody, you're seeing this on August 1st. So Meg would have had her event the day before, but Meg, you want to share a little bit about some exciting projects you have coming up and also your event that would have gone on technically yesterday.
Yeah, I've got a couple of weddings that I'm going to in the next few months that I'm sewing for. And, I've been working on these wrap dresses. So I'm hoping one of the wrap dresses can serve as my, wedding guest dress for the summer wedding I'm attending. And I have another one in the fall, and I haven't quite decided on that yet. I'm still in summer mode, so we'll see. I may push that to the last minute. But the other thing I'm working on is I am, there's an event in my neighborhood coming up next week or yesterday from when you're watching this. It's the Old North End Ramble, and it's like a local community neighborhood kind of block party thing that celebrates local artists and, you know, the local community. And I decided it would be a good idea to sell some of my handmade clothes that no longer fit me, or, you know, maybe aren't quite my style anymore, at that event, because I think, you know, folks in my neighborhood would really appreciate my handmade garments that have been stuffed in a bag since last summer when I did a closet purge, because I can't bear to give them away. But I decided that maybe at this event, where people really appreciate sort of like, you know, handmade items, that they will go to good homes, and that, you know, I can make a little money that I can then donate to local food banks. So that's my plan. So I got a lot of, you know, pulling out clothes, ironing them, getting them prepped for this little market event community thing next weekend that I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, that will be awesome. Sounds like a fun time. And like you say, the weather, and I'm in Texas, so I know it's probably a little bit hotter here than it is where you are, but the weather, it seems for the most part for the past couple of weeks has been amazing. And so I am hopeful that the weather will continue to be amazing for your event. I don't know if it's outdoor or indoor, but it sounds like it's outdoor.
Yeah, it's like a community kind of, almost like a really big block party where you kind of walk around to different neighborhood events around the neighborhood.
Oh, that sounds like fun. And so once again, you guys got to go check out how she did and how the event was. I'm sure you'll probably share it in your stories and on your feed and whatnot. So yes, go make sure you check her out and see how her event went technically yesterday. So let's get into our collaboration today. This was a fun one. We are both fans of cashmere patterns, but Meg, share with us why. I know partly because, you know, it fits into your wrap dress experiment that you're doing right now, but why did you choose the rose clair?
Yeah, as you said, I'm a big fan of cashmere patterns. I just love the fit of them. They really work for my body shape, and she has so many lovely styles. So when I saw that she came out with a woven wrap dress, I took it as an opportunity to kind of kick off this, I'm calling it my wrap extravaganza. So I've made a bunch of woven wrap dresses in a row. And, you know, the rose clair is a woven wrap dress with kind of a cute little puff sleeve, and it's got a couple options for a flared skirt or a multi-tier skirt, which is super in style right now. So I was really excited when you wanted to make one too, Natita, and you know, just to be able to both make the same dress. This, I'm actually wearing my wearable muslin today, which I made kind of the blouse version. I can stand up and show you. So it's like a little peplum blouse with the wrap dress and the
I love that fabric.
I made it out of a cotton lawn, which worked really well with this pattern. And I'm pretty infatuated with it. And I've already gone ahead and made a couple minor tweaks to fit in construction, and then made my final dress, which we're gonna share together later.
Yes, absolutely. And where did you get that fabric from? That is absolutely beautiful.
This is a stash fabric. Thank you. It's a cotton lawn that I bought when I lived in Bangkok. So it's deep stash. So it's probably been in there for like 6 years. So it's good to use it. Thank you. You know, stashed fabric challenge.
That is beautiful. And like Meg said, for me also, I also did the top version. And for those who are newer to the sewing chat, usually after my collaborations, I do a full review of the pattern and my full thoughts on the follow-up video, which you will see coming up on Wednesday. So make sure if you have not subscribed to catch that video on August 4th, you will see the full review of the rose clair. And actually on this day, and you should have seen pictures of Meg and her muslin as well. But I also share with you, with the magic of editing, Meg's final dress, and you'll see my final dress as well in the review and posting on August 4th. But yes, and Meg, also you have a blog post for your muslin, am I right? And so I will put that down in the description box. And also you will have on the first a new blog post for your final version of the Rose Clear. But as you can tell, the fit on the Rose Clear, you all know I'm a huge fan of cashmere. I will say real quickly, the fit is beautiful. I do have to make one adjustment for me, but again, I will share that on Wednesday's video, but I have on the top version as well. And I found that the pattern was really easy. And once you go through the process, it's like, okay, that's easy. So the next time you make it is nothing big. You don't have to, it's nothing that you really have to do a lot to. And many of you have heard me mention many times that cashmere at her drafting, especially for fuller bust, larger size, is awesome. And for this particular dress, this is a pattern, by the time you're seeing this, it would have came out a couple months ago, is in her new size range. So from 0 to 16. And she does have the size range that goes to 12 to 32 up to an H cup. And so this was perfect, Meg. I really enjoyed making this, and is really, for me, while I haven't done a true wrap dress experiment, I can honestly say the only type of wrap dresses I made a commercial pattern, a butterick one, but for the most part, they've just been cashmere. And I did make the Elodie. I think that was last year. I did make the Elodie. But yeah, it is, and I really do love wrap dresses. And the first wrap dress I ever made was by Sew Over It. And so I embarrassingly will say, the first time I made a wrap dress, I did not know how to put it on. I was thinking, after I made it, I was so excited I made it. And then I was like, well, how do you put this on? How does it, I stood there. I remember in my sewing room thinking, well, I don't even know how to wear this thing. And I think I even mentioned that in my video I did too back then, but wrap dresses I just love them. I think they're really nice. And like you said, the tier, that is like, I know it's trending now, but I've always liked that look. Personally, it's just one of those like, but that's always been a look. I mean, I know it's like forefront in fashion and everything right now, but it's always been a look that I have absolutely enjoyed.
I'm really looking forward to seeing your Rose Claire, your final dress. Can't wait to see it.
And for those who don't know, in the background, there is usually the people that I get a chance to chat with. We do talk about the pattern that we're going to do and maybe share different things along the way. And so for me, my biggest thing was fabric choice. Fabric was the biggest thing, because I knew what length I wanted to go for, but it's the fabric. Did I want a solid? Did I want a print? What did I do? You will all see coming in a couple days.
Fabric choice is always the toughest part. Always.
Yes. And the one I did settle on, I didn't have enough fabric for, of course. So, yeah. But anyway, you will all see that. So, well, Meg, thank you so much again. And thank you for being an angel of sitting through this twice, technically today. But thank you so much for coming on the SND Sewing Chat. Again, for those who are not following Meg over on Instagram, CookinandCraftin, make sure you go and follow her over on Instagram, and also her blog post, everything will be linked down in the description box down below. So Meg, any final words before we let you go today?
Just a thank you to you for having me. This was really fun, and keep sewing, everybody. I'll see you on Instagram.
All right, everybody. And thank you again, Meg. Thanks, everybody. We will see you on Wednesday. Bye.